Okay, start with another. Where do we begin?
Guess
Well,
we'll
let's start with a disclaimer. How long has it been since we watched this, Parker?
Let's see, it was before the break, wasn't it?
Yep.
So, it was before...
Around mid-December?
Yeah. So, it's been a while.
So, yeah, we've watched this around mid-December of 2015. And now we're just doing a review on it around end of January.
Because someone,
likes to procrastinate. Yes, I know. Shut up.
Just want to let people know, whoever watches this, that it was your fault that we're doing this so late. Alright, let's start with story. These have spoilers, so...
Yeah, it's already in the beginning of the video.
Yep. Now, basic story is that a guy comes back to it's not necessarily his hometown, but it's where his parent or his mother grew up. Mm-hmm. And he's there for some reason. Like we said, it's been a while. And he's going to go to school there. And it starts off in the beginning with him in the hospital after having a collapsed lung. And a bunch of people, or a bunch of his students, or classmates, coming to meet him. And that's when you can start to kind of tell that everything is a little weird because of their discussing whether or not they should tell him something in front of him, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was in front of him. I was like, should we tell him? Oh shit, why didn't you tell me he was down here?
Oh, hey, I forgot about that.
Asshole.
Sorry. And it's just like, okay, you want to tell us what's going on and why you're so freaked out as to whether or not you should tell him something?
It's pretty much the, act suspicious in order to make things mysterious kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, red drop, fuck you.
So, I'm going to start off with, I made Mark watch this. I already had an idea about it, that it was kind of a horror theme, and I knew it was gory, so I wanted to watch it, mainly just to fuck with him.
I don't like horror. As a heads up.
Oh, hello, Colossus. Oh, you started it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I knew what I was going into. I figured it would be something similar to a Final Destination kind of feel. You want it?
Yeah.
So, that's kind of what I was going for. Which, it does start out that way. It's very mysterious. Mm-hmm. People are saying, be careful. And it's like, got a great mystery vibe going on to it. Because there's a girl there, Mei Miyazaki, who's just like, you shouldn't talk to people who don't exist. And it starts making you question, is he seeing things? Does she exist? Is she a ghost?
Yep. It's pretty fucking mysterious at the beginning, and it's great. It keeps it up, but it keeps it up for too long that it becomes a little too slow as you get later on into the series.
And also really starts fucking with your mind, especially when he finally goes into a store, and there's an old lady there, who's also pretty weird. And it's just like, okay, can she actually see her, or is she just standing, or is the old lady just sitting there listening to the guy who's talking to her?
It's pretty mindfucky, yeah.
So that's kind of the general idea. Now, that goes away after a while when it's discovered that there's actually a curse that's going on, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in actuality, there is a ghost student that they cannot talk to. Or, no, they have a ghost student. And the way that...
Ghost being in quotes.
Yeah, it's the person who's dead, and then no one actually knows.
Do you want any of these items up here?
What's up there?
Dice, question mark, and a vial that increase regen.
I'll take the vial.
Alright, yeah, the ghost student.
So there's an extra student, and this extra student will cause a bunch of accidents to occur. Here's where things get a little interesting. The way to solve this, so that people don't die, is to act like there isn't someone who does not exist. And that is Mei Miyazaki. So it kind of loses its sort of edge.
Yeah, like the initial mystery towards it kind of disappears.
Which you still have the idea. Which, actually, no, entirely. I say that kind of kills it.
Yeah, I was extremely surprised the way it was quickly resolved.
Yeah, so...
In transition to kind of a slasher flick?
Yeah. We'll get to that. So, the main issue that I'm going to start off with is this entire thing could have been avoided. Because they all think that the accident started. Once it starts, what they call it the calamity.
I think they called it calamity. I thought I was just making it up.
It sounds good.
We'll call it the calamity.
So once it starts, it can't be stopped. And so they were thought, that's the thing. It had started before he actually showed up, but no one knew it. So they thought it started with him, but no one felt the need to tell him what was going on.
Yeah, a lot of things could have been avoided through communication, but, you know, horror and communication don't go together.
Yeah, which I liked it better when it had the mystery kind of horror thing going on. When it starts just trying to be upright horror, it falls apart towards
it. Kind of just became upright horror rather than horror mystery. There's still the mystery of, who's gonna die, but
or how they're going to solve the problem of there's a ghost student. And towards the end, they're just like, they figure out, hey, if you kill the ghost student, everything gets fixed. Great. How do we find the ghost student? Well, it turns out Mai Miyazaki can see dead people. Okay, why didn't she say this earlier? We don't know.
She does explain it as, I could trust you kind of thing, but I still like it. You could have saved so much people.
The story's not well thought out. It had a great premise, and it's got a nice little ending at the end as to why the accident started going on.
Also, hug all the way to the right, you'll see the portal.
Okay. And it had a great starting premise. I really liked it. Especially, I knew what was about to occur when the first death was going on. Because I had seen a little clip previously, and I was just like, when I saw the first girl, whose name I forget, let me look it up real quick, just so...
Yeah, you could do it.
Let's see. Yakurai Sakuragi.
Sure.
I think is how you pronounce that. When she grabbed the umbrella, I start saying, Mark, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Because that was the moment he did not want to see. And it was great. The whole blood splatter, I was just freaking out because she was going downstairs with an umbrella. She slips, drops the umbrella, and it impales her throat. When I saw that, I was just like, yes, this is what I wanted.
What are you doing here?
Huh? Killing people.
Fucking, just go.
Fine. Don't tell me what to do. Those did not go together. Fine, don't tell me what to do. And so I really liked it when it was doing that. But it then kind of drops that after a few people start dying.
Pause time.
And so, I don't know, it just doesn't feel very well thought out. Because no one, for almost the entire series, you think that it's his fault that this occurred.
Yeah.
That people are dying. But no one would explain to him what was going on. Well, what did I just get?
Legends are smite them all.
And so, it's just like, I died.
Are you kidding me?
I'm talking, don't blame me.
I blame you, 100%.
And so it's just like, why did you guys not explain this to him? This is y'all's fault.
Y'all's?
Yeah, I'm country, what do you expect?
Oh, 5 health, 8 health.
And one guy who actually tried to tell him what was going on, which I don't get why everyone tried to do, ended up having a heart attack right at that moment.
Rip dude who actually had the common sense.
So, yeah. It's like, just things were not adding up in this. And it was fairly obvious.
I don't know, the thing that killed me was not really the kind of mystery. It's more like the pacing of it was weird.
I think I do remember having that problem. Like, there was one scene where they all go to the beach.
Right.
And it was so they could figure out how to stop it. Because there was one guy who knew how to stop the calamity. And he supposedly had the message, or he could tell them how. So they go visit him, and supposedly it's just like, hey, we're not in the town, and there's never been an occurrence where people die in the town, so we'll be safe.
Outside the town, you mean?
Outside the town, yeah. And so it's just like, okay, so you guys are having a free day? And that's pretty much what it is. It's an entire free day.
An entire day dedicated to fan service.
Yeah, like girls in bathing suits, all that, blah, 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 blah. And so it's just like, okay, if this doesn't match, it's like, don't give me a break. Keep me in fear. Although they do kind of do that because they do kill someone off.
That's
very quickly. It's just like, oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you died. Shit.
Yeah.
Dang it, I didn't even know what that item did.
Rip.
So, yeah. Alright, there's a chest up here that I want, but can't have.
Ow.
Well, you gotta get it.
It's that egg thing.
Oh, not worth it.
Oh, it's heal outside of combat. Are you shitting me?
Yeah. So, pretty much my idea for this entire thing is when it's being kind of horror, mystery, kind of mythological, it's very nice. When it drops the horror element, it just kind of dies away. Or not the horror part, the mystery part. Now, we haven't even discussed the ending of it.
No, we haven't discussed a lot of it, so.
No, but probably the main issues I remember having were at the end.
Alright, what was your issue? Oh, the entire...
What, last three episodes or something?
Last 3 episodes, the entire kind of climax of the burning house.
Oh my god, that thing.
Alright, should you start or should I?
Do I want to give an idea of what happened or just go right into it?
We'll go right into it. I'll start since you've been talking.
Alright.
So, they all go to a school trip with the thought of ending the calamity. There has been kind of like a hint from past students. There was a past calamity in which it was stopped midway, but they don't remember how. They all had presumed that it was because of visiting the shrine. So they all went to this shrine in order to stop the calamity. However, the truth of the matter is you need to kill the another, and that's how the calamity stopped. Only a handful of students knew that at the beginning. Halfway through the trip, I don't know, maybe not halfway. I'm guessing. During a lunch period, things get heated, and Mimizaki, who was voted to be the another, was then blamed by the student council to be the reason why kind of all this shit is happening. Which, by the way, bullshit!
And I think they were also claiming that she was the dead person because she had a sister who looked like her and also shared the name, so blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, but that's after... Alright, so... The student council is blaming her for all the things. By the way, you could have this, since I already have a copy of it.
Okay.
It's near the portal, on the right.
I see it.
The student council blames her. The main character, of course, defends her, like, hey, she's not at her fault. I think he even tries to take the blame.
I don't remember.
Don't know, but that sounds very protagonist-like.
Yeah, it does.
And then at some point, the handful of students that knows that in order to
stop the calamity.
Stop the calamity, yeah. Stop calamity to kill the extra student / ghost. I think one of them blurts it out loud. Right?
What? That you have to kill someone?
Mm-hmm.
No, remember, she got, one of the people in the student council got the tape. and played it over the
yeah,
intercom.
right. Yeah, so the tape that initially gave them a hint that in order to stop Calamity, you need to kill the ghost student. Except the ghost student doesn't know they are ghost students, so it's kind of hard to find. One of them got hold of the tape, and it ended up being like an extremely mentally broken student. Because I think one of the family members died to Calamity.
Something like that. I remember they were blaming...
Or maybe her friend died to Calamity.
I don't know.
Yeah, as a side note, the Calamity doesn't just affect students, it affects their families as well.
Yeah, anyone kind of in relation to them.
So yeah, it's really fucking suck. One of them got hold of it. She tells all the other students through an intercom. Also, why does a cabin has an intercom?
I actually never thought about that.
What the fuck?
Very good point.
Yeah. And then she, of course she says Mei Miyazaki is the another because of reasons, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the reason she
Also,
gave.
go down here to help with the portal.
All I remember was when I heard that, I was like, I can understand someone like jumping that conclusion, and people can be like, that makes no sense whatsoever. The issue is, every student bought that. Everyone believed that Mei Miyazaki was actually the ghost, and starts trying to kill her. I'm just like, you people are all crazy. Do you not have any... It made no sense for everyone to buy it. Oh, definitely need that.
Rip.
And so that's kind of where it starts falling apart for me. It's just like, you're creating tension just to create the tension.
For me, that was actually understandable since it was kind of a life and death situation for all of them, Parker.
But every single person is just like, okay, we're all going to kill this person on this one girl's one assumption. And not think through it ourselves.
Yeah, but not all of them thought that.
It's not like they're all sleep deprived or something. They should all be able to think somewhat clearly, like, hey, this doesn't sound completely right. Anyways, that's my kind of problem with it.
I didn't find a problem with that. My problem was the fact that as this was happening, I think at one point the inn owners was actually a family member of one of the students who had died earlier.
Yep.
And because of this fact, the inn staff, they were like, the way their relation was, they were grandparents to the student. They were actually kind of mentally distraught to the point.
At least one of them was.
Okay, one of them was to the point where the grandmother actually went on a killing spree
after murdering her husband, lighting everything on fire, and
yeah. So she had lit the cabin on fire, starting with like the diner room, and we should probably go.
Yep.
And then started to kill all the students in her mental outrage. Now, you would think that the fact that the cabin is on fire, it will play a key element in the plot. It doesn't!
It pretty much is non-existent. It's just like, hey, look, this is on fire. Who cares?
The cabin is basically on fire in order to change the setting, in order to kind of heighten the mood. But then when you realize that the fire only killed 2 students, and it wasn't even a fire, it was like an explosion.
Yeah, at the very beginning,
an explosion of flames.
Heat explosion or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember what the term is called.
And that's what killed them? Not even them burning alive. It's like them being extremely quickly microwaved. We probably should get out.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I can't.
So that's kind of like what bothered me, is the fact that nothing kind of... Oh, we have to get up there. This is dead end. Nothing actually was affected by the fire other than initial, like, 3 deaths.
Yeah.
The students were kind of in a hurry, but, like, they didn't care.
So, one of the things that I remember in that was the girl who was crazy. The one who, over the intercom, told everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I would look up the name, but I don't even remember who the character was.
I do. Let me just look up. You keep killing stuff.
Gladly.
You were saying?
Okay.
Just continue while I find her name.
She found Mei Miyazaki with the protagonist, Sakakibara. and they're on a staircase. Now, she's trying to kill May.
Oh, her death is what you're talking about.
Yeah. And during this, something happens where she somehow gets hung by a cord. Now, when I was watching this, it's like, a cord can't actually hold you like that and kill you. I'll let that go. Kinda. So, that was kind of my issue with that. Now, she was friends with one of the student council members. Akazawa. And so...
Also, her name was Yukari.
Yeah. So, Akazawa saw this and then actually blamed Miyazaki for it, even though it was not even in any way her fault. It was an accident.
Yeah, it was a complete accident, but then for some reason she got the blame.
And then Akazawa starts trying to kill Miyazaki. It's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, that was weird. That, I admit, even with the kind of all the heat of the moment thing, that was kind of... why did you blame her?
So, after we watched this, we decided to look at other people's reviews because, as it turns out, we didn't give good reviews to our previous one.
K-Project?
K-Project.
We didn't. It's not that we didn't give good reviews, it's just that we had... I think we were the minority?
Yeah.
Although that's a huge
Majority, or from what we saw, supported it, where I said it was just...
Yeah.
I did not
Alright,
like it.
I found it. Follow.
Alright.
It's at the bottom, not top.
So, and one guy...
Oh, you want ukulele?
Absolutely.
Do you have a use?
Ukulele isn't a use.
I know, but do you have a use?
Yeah.
Shit, well, I'm gonna switch and see what this does. Rotting brain.
Although mine's not very good, it's just a heal.
Thorough bouncing brain.
Anyways, so the guy who we read the review said it was like other things that this team had made. It's a very good kind of start, very kind of depressing, and they kind of drop the ball at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And it just really falls apart. And I feel like that pretty much sums this up.
Yep. So apparently the studio has the reputation of doing so.
Oh no!
Did you summon it? Did you start it?
No.
Okay. Let's start it then. I'm gonna start it. All right.
That's a bad idea.
Nope, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. Don't die.
Oh my god.
Ukulele's down there.
I see it. So yeah. I guess if I was going to say something, I would say they definitely just kind of fall apart towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea about their previous ones, but...
Start it!
Starting it! But it definitely does so in this case. So, yeah. That's more or less my opinion on this. Good kind of start, very interesting. If you're... I won't say creative ways for people to die, but if you're wanting to see people die, hey, go right ahead.
Alright, well, moving on from the... Oh, hey, boxing gloves. Moving on away from the story element. Music. Since we haven't actually touched on other elements of an anime.
Well, no, we kind of brought up music with K-Project.
No, I mean in this video.
Oh. I'm dead.
Damn it, Parker!
What do you expect me to do?
Not die? Hello?
Do you see how many people were on me?
Yes.
Alright, so music. I honestly can't remember too many music moments.
The opening?
I know there was the opening, and that's... I didn't really care for it. Although, you will try and sing along after a little bit. The only time I can actually remember there being a interesting moment where it was helped by music was... this scene never actually made sense to me. It's when Miyazaki is talking to Sakibara, saying that, "Are you sure you want to talk to me? If you do, the calamity will start," or something like that. Or perhaps it's already started. Even though Miyazaki already knows that it's already started, before he even showed up. So...
Wait, the calamity didn't start when he showed up? When he wasn't there?
Yeah, it did. Because, someone had died beforehand.
Who?
Miyazaki's sister, or whatever you want to call it. Miyazaki Fujioka, I think was her name.
Oh.
Because she was the first to die. So,
Okay, yeah.
So that entire scene didn't really make a lot of sense to me when you think about it from the ending. Now, so yeah, in terms of music, nothing sticks out.
Nope, nothing I'd really kind of point out either. Nothing. Nothing sticks out. In terms of animation?
Animation was... Oh my god, actually this is a great one. So, when, what's her name? When Sakuragi dies, this is the one who gets impaled in the throat with a, umbrella.
Oh shit! Fuck you.
The animation for that was great. It gave me nightmares, almost. Because they really go in depth with it. It shows her...
Shut the fuck up.
She gets stabbed, and blood doesn't actually work this way, but it was, like, gushing out. It's like, that's... The umbrella's still inside. It shouldn't be gushing. But her body is twitching. And she is scrambling, trying to figure out what the heck to do. And it was a great moment in terms of that. Well, at least great in terms of gore aspect. Maybe not so much for her. So that was really good in my opinion. I really liked that. Besides that, I can't say that anything else really stuck out in terms of animation. It's just...
In terms of the arts, I enjoyed, like, when non-horror things are happening, nothing... In terms of animation, nothing bad kind of popped out. It looked, it's plain but nice.
Yeah. Does nothing really interesting.
Yeah, but then it kind of... The animation is highlighted through kind of horror moments. Shit!
Good job.
The kind of like... how would I describe it? It's like an anime cliche in which when crazy characters, like, appear and they're doing something, they have kind of a weird twisted face.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. They kind of have it's pretty much a face that is supposed to make you hate them.
It's a combination of make you hate them and also, like... It points out that they're crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Animation is stellar in terms of a horror. Anything else was kind of average.
Yeah. It's pretty much what you'd find in anything.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's see. What other aspects?
Characters.
Story, animation. Alright, let's touch on...
I'm gonna go with this. Everyone in this anime is completely retarded.
Yeah, it's like... They're stupid for the sake of making it a horror. A lot of things could have been avoided if they just communicated.
Now, given in the beginning like I was saying, this all could have been avoided if they had told Sakibara, even though it wasn't actually his fault. That could have all been avoided if they went with that way. They could have told him at the beginning, but they decided not to because no real reason is actually given, besides that they didn't want to.
The other reason was like, oh, I didn't have the time. When bullshit, they had the time.
Yeah. It didn't make sense. Now, I want to get this out of the way.
No, I think the actual reason was that by telling him about the another, they're, like, inevitably talking about her.
Yeah. I'm not actually sure. I remember that being brought up, but I can't remember if that was actually going to be affected or not. I don't know.
That was the presumption they were taking as to why they didn't want to tell him.
So either take the chance of telling him or have him... The fact that he was actually talking to her, they should have said, hey, don't talk to her. They should have said something.
Oh, hey,
also, yeah.
Let's keep...
Only chests.
Okay, yeah, it's not here, is it? It's not here, damn it!
So, yeah. Like, I will say, they have a fairly good array of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they definitely have, what's it called?
Diversity?
Diversity, yes. I can't remember the word. They have a great diversity, and some of the characters I actually really like. The nurse. who unfortunately she dies. I was very
Nurse.
sad about that, but I knew it was coming. Oh, it made me so sad. It made me so sad to see her die. But yeah, like they had a good amount of characters, and each of them like really different. All of them stupid, but still different.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's pretty much all I got to say on that. Unless it's a main character, you don't really get much on them.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, you're talking about an entire class worth of people.
You want it?
Sure. So, it's, you're not going to get much on other people.
Mm-hmm.
Nor should you really.
Yep.
But the characters they have, very interesting. I especially like Miyazaki's character. Sakakibara, well, he's annoying. He's just annoying. That's all I got, really. I'm gonna go get that chest. So, yeah.
How about the voice acting part? Any of it was grating, the way they worded it? Do you remember?
I don't remember, which means not good or bad. I mean, I think... Yeah, they didn't do anything. If they didn't do anything bad, good for them. I think there were a few lines in there that just kind of bugged me, but that's more of the writing than it is anything else. So, yeah. I've been saying that a lot now that I think about that.
What? So yeah?
So, yeah.
So yeah.
Let's see. Now, in terms of... I'm going back to story for a second because I forgot about this.
Alright, go.
The huge plot twist at the end. They were throughout the entire thing. They're saying, "I thought that it wasn't going to happen because the way it works is there's always an extra desk, I believe, or there aren't enough desks in the classroom, and that's how you know that there isn't another, even though there's always one."
Yep.
This year there wasn't one, and so everyone's like, "Maybe it's finally over, and maybe it won't happen." And so they talk about that the entire time. But the calamity starts anyways. And the way it actually ended up playing out was that it was Sakakibara's, aunt?
I think so, yeah, aunt. Except he doesn't have an aunt?
Well, she died. He did have an aunt. Oh shit, I died. He did have an aunt.
Damn it!
But she had died in a stabbing or something. It kind of shows a brief little flashback of what happened. And so it was a great idea because it was just like, she was an assistant teacher, and the extras, or the place where they didn't have enough tables was in the teacher's lounge. But throughout the entire thing, you don't actually put together that the aunt and the assistant teacher are the same person because they look so different.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
It was really good when you figured that out. I was just like, oh shit. Yep. That was a great plot twist. I gotta congratulate them on that. Storytelling 101 achieved.
You'll hurt.
But that's about it. Everything else, as I've said, fairly mediocre. Add that to just some fairly interesting little moments, like one of the teachers killing themselves. Yeah, it's all over the place.
I died.
Well, perfect timing. I think we're pretty much done.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are our final grades?
Wait.
Oh, no.
Wait.
What do you have to add?
Nothing. I'm just trying to think about the points. Alright, music, story, animation, characters. Shit, do you know anything?
I can't think of anything else.
Music and I. Let's wrap it up. Parker. What was the things? It's been so long since we actually did a discussion thing.
I don't actually know what you're talking about, because Things does not do a great job of describing stuff. Things does not describe stuff.
Things do... What? Hello?
Anyways, so, what are you wanting?
Shit, did I delete it? Rip.
Okay, we're cutting this part out.
Hell no, we're not! We're keeping this in! I'm doing it live!
That way you don't have to edit as much.
Hell yeah! Yeah, I'm the one editing here. Alright, overall grade, overall this summary of what you think, and would you recommend it? I think that was it.
Okay, so those 3 points. Overall grade, I'd probably give it a 5 to a 6. It's a pretty much overview. It's a nice little story, very interesting in the beginning. Got a nice bit of gore that's fun to watch, depending on who you are. Story falls apart towards the end, gets fairly boring and fairly cheesy. But, kind of mediocre towards the end, I'll just say that. Would I recommend it?
Would you, and when would you, if you do?
Well, I would if someone's looking for something that contains blood, but it would not be my first recommendation. I gotta say, I probably would not recommend this. I probably will never think about it after this. I'll be perfectly honest there.
Alright, that's it?
Yep.
Alright. For me, overall summary.
Overall grade.
Overall grade and summary. Whatever. Yeah, 5, maybe 6, 5.5. Because it's average. Nothing really going for it. It's extremely interesting at the early. Extremely interesting twist at the end. However, kind of the middle and kind of middle end kind of destroys everything that builds upon. Or at least chips it away slowly. So yeah, would I recommend it? I'm going with the same line as I did with K-Project. If you are extremely bored, if you're in my little brother's case, in which he's just trying to find anime just to watch it, watch it. It has sub and dub, so you could just do something in the background while you're watching or listening to it. Which is possible because it's actually extremely dialogue based rather than action based.
Yeah, and if you tune out for a little while, you probably won't miss much.
So yeah, recommendation only if you're extremely bored. Other than that, there are a bunch more other horror. I would imagine. I'm not a horror enthusiast.
Hi.
Yeah, you are. There are a lot more horror anime out there, better than another in terms of how it handles its story. And that's pretty much it. So yeah. Want to sign up, Parker?
Well,
awkward sign up. Awkward sign up.
I speak first. I speak first.
No. Okay, you could go. Fuck off! I'm ending it.